day after finishing school, I was called to a little church down in Montgomery, Alabama. I started preaching there. Things were going well in that church. It was a marvelous experience. One day, a year later, a lady by the name of Rosa Parks decided that she wasn't going to take it. She stayed in a bus seat. You may not remember it because it's way back now, several years, but it was the beginning of a movement.
We, the disinherited of this land, we who have been oppressed so long, are tired of going through the long night of captivity. And now we are reaching out for the daybreak of freedom and justice and equality. The only weapon that we have in our hands this evening is the weapon of protest. That's all. Certainly this is the glory of America with all of its faults. And we are not wrong. We are not wrong in what we are doing. If we are wrong, the Supreme Court of this nation is wrong. If we are wrong, the Constitution of the United States is wrong. If we are wrong, God Almighty is wrong.
Eventually, segregation in public transportation will pass away. Eventually. And I think we should start now preparing for the inevitable. And let us, when that moment comes, go into the situations that we confront with a great deal of dignity, sanity, and reasonableness. So we still feel that we are right and that we stand within our constitutional rights in the protest. We still advocate nonviolence, passive resistance, and still determined to use the weapon of love.
The decision rendered by the Supreme Court yesterday was a victory. Yeah. But it wasn't a victory for colored folks. Don't make that victory that small. It wasn't a victory for 50,000 Negroes in Montgomery. It wasn't merely a victory for 16 million Negroes of America. That was a victory for justice and goodwill.
Now, what will be our mode of action in the light of this decision? After thinking through this question very seriously, the Executive Board of the Montgomery Improvement Association recommends that the 11-month-old protest against the city buses will be called off, and that the Negro citizens of Montgomery, Alabama will return to the buses on a non-segregated basis. Are you ready for the question? All in favor, let it be known by standing on your feet. It seems that it is carried unanimously. And I've looked over, and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
Martin Luther King dedicated his life to love and to justice between fellow human beings. He died in the cause of that effort. For those of you who are black and are tempted to be filled with hatred and mistrust of the injustice of such an act against all white people, I would only say that I can also feel in my own heart the same kind of feeling. I had a member of my family killed, but he was killed by a white man. But we have to make an effort in the United States. We have to make an effort to understand, to get beyond or go beyond these rather difficult times. My favorite poem, my favorite poet was Aeschylus. He once wrote, "Even in our sleep, pain which cannot forget falls drop by drop upon the heart, until in our own despair, against our will, comes wisdom through the awful grace of God." What we need in the United States is not division. What we need in the United States is not hatred. What we need in the United States is not violence and lawlessness, but is love and wisdom and compassion toward one another, feeling of justice toward those who still suffer within our country, whether they be white or whether they be black.
Hi, I'm John Tuller, a member of the African American Men of Westchester. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to today's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Youth Legacy Awards. But before I turn the program over to Eon Nichols, chair of today's honorees and program, I first want to congratulate each of you and welcome you to today's celebration. The African American Men of Westchester sponsored the first annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Youth Legacy Award Family Day over 21 years ago, and to celebrate the life and teachings of Dr. King. This event became the largest of its kind in Westchester, and indeed the Northeast, attracting over 5,000 people over the years from every walk of life to keeping Dr. King's message to service of mankind alive. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. left an important legacy for us and for future generations. And with that in mind, the African American Men of Westchester is committed to sharing his life principles with us today and today's youth. To date, we have honored many outstanding young adults for their service to the community, and dozens more have been recognized as nominees. Our honorees are representatives of the plethora of young people who devote their time and energy to improve the lives of their families and their neighborhoods, and who are the beacons of light within their communities. And so today we are proud to recognize each of them as we celebrate their life achievements. Dr. King inspired many by his words of wisdom and life. He helped to change the mindsets of generations with his challenges to live free. Which reminds me of a quote he once said, "If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl." But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. It is my honor to turn the program over to Eon Nichols, chair of today's Martin Luther King Jr. Youth Legacy Awards. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Day. On behalf of the African American Men of Westchester, I would like to welcome you to the 21st Annual Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration, where we celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. King by acknowledging young people who are following in his footsteps through their work to improve their communities and improve the lives of the people around them. Thank you for joining us. One way you can truly honor someone is not just to follow their principles and beliefs, but to put those principles and beliefs into action. The students you will meet today are doing just that. They are honoring Dr. King by taking action through his principles and beliefs. As many of you know who have attended this celebration in the past, we have 7 award categories, and we select 7 students who receive awards for their outstanding work in their communities. This year, however, the competition was really stiff. And in certain award categories, there were close calls. We decided to provide 2 awards in those instances. So for some categories, you'll see 2 award winners. In all, we have 12 award winners this year in comparison to our normal 7 award winners. Each winner receives a beautiful award and, most importantly, a $1,000 check. Before we get to meet these remarkable students who are putting the life and legacy of Dr. King into action, Eric Eller, the president of African American Men of Westchester, would like to say a few words. Eric?
Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Greetings, my name is Eric Eller, and I'm president of the African American Men of Westchester. And I'd like to thank you for your presence here today as we celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. This is our 21st annual MLK Youth Legacy Awards program, which is focused on honoring young people in the county who have demonstrated a commitment to the teachings of Dr. King. I would like to first thank our corporate sponsors and partners, BYB, Entergy, Con Edison, Cuddy and Fader, LLP, TD Bank, Westchester County Executive's Office, and the Westchester County Board of Legislators, and the United Way of Westchester and Putnam. I would also like to thank as well our sponsorship donors and individual sponsors for your financial contributions, as well to support AAMW and the Martin Luther King Youth Legacy Awards program. With your collective support, we're able to award 12 individual scholarships today. Dr. King said the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of challenge and controversy. On this day, we observe the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., recognizing the volunteer service and accomplishments of these young men and women, whether they participated in Black Lives Matter movement, advocating for the homeless, writers of poetry, computer science and technology, aspiring attorneys, student athletes, members of the National Honor Society, youth advocate leaders. They are already leaders in our community, as well as role models for their peers. Each of our awardees will be introduced to you shortly, but let me be the first to collectively congratulate them by continuing the legacy of Dr. King. We celebrate their achievements and congratulate all of the nominees and our award winners and wish them continued success in the future. These young adults that we recognize today represent what is good about our county. They understand that it's not a crime to give of themselves, their time, their talents in service to others. It's the hope that I see in these young Americans. They are an investment in our future and hope for a better future for our community, county, and nation. Faith is understanding the first step, even if you can't see the whole staircase. AAMW is committed to encouraging collaborative action with all to strengthen the economic and cultural educational foundations of our communities. We will continue to push on, we will move forward, and we will continue to travel the high road. Together, we make a difference. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ali Federico. I'm Senior Relationship Manager and VP of Commercial Lending at TD Bank, and I also co-chair the TD Bank Regional Diversity Council for Metro New York. It's my pleasure to be here with you today as we celebrate the 21st Annual Martin Luther King Youth Legacy Awards event. I'm proud to be here as a presenter. I want to start off by commending the good work and the impactful work of the African American men of Westchester. TD Bank is a longtime supporter of the African American men of Westchester and the important work that is done in the community to strengthen and support youth, leadership development, literacy, diversity, and economic development. The organization has impacted thousands of lives by providing an array of meaningful programs to strengthen the economic, social, and educational foundation of our communities. On behalf of TD Bank, I'm proud to be able to present at this year's 21st Annual Martin Luther King Legacy Youth Awards and to the very deserving student whose activities exemplifies the category of social justice. The Social Justice Award is given to Miss Julianne Salvador. The award is given to the student who upholds a standard of integrity and focuses on the pursuit of fairness, justice, and the equitable distribution of resources for all. And inside and outside the classroom, Julianne Salvador exemplifies this. Julianne is a proud senior at School of the Holy Child in Rye, a member of the White Plains Youth Court and resident of New Rochelle. She's a firm believer in social equity, access to education, and restorative justice in the criminal justice system and in the world around her. She is a student leader of the Holy Child Student of Color Affinity Group, a Sunday school teacher for first grade, a peer tutor, a performer of musical theater and choir, and a member of the school's Allies Rebuilding Connections Forum for LGBTQ+ students. She is an avid defense attorney and youth advocate in youth court and channels her public speaking efforts to present the most vulnerable and relatable parts of her clients to the jury, and has participated in Law Day 2021 that aim to teach everyone that their rights are as an equal in our country, such as due process and the 14th Amendment. Through youth court, she was able to intern with a local defense attorney who handled civil, criminal, divorce, real estate, and allowed her to explore her options for her future. In school, she values humanities and is a member of both National Honor Society and Spanish Honor Society. As she continues her academic career next year in college, she hopes to study political science and pursue a degree in law in school later in life. Congratulations, Julianne, for all the work you do inside and outside as a student and a community leader. Keep up the good work, and we look forward to seeing much from you in the future. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I would like to thank the MLK Legacy Youth Award Committee of the African American Men of Westchester for awarding me this year's Social Justice Award. I am extremely grateful to be recognized by this organization for something so esteemed and important. I am overwhelmed by this blessing. I would first like to recognize and thank Ms. Connie Jones-Hairston for all that she has done for me and for everyone who makes up Youth Court. She has made an everlasting impact on my growth as a community leader and an advocate for restorative justice. She has supported and encouraged all of my ambitions for social justice and law since the day I started training. She ensures that everyone in Youth Court and the respondents we serve have the opportunity to get involved in the community and is a guiding hand to all of us. I'd also like to thank my mom, my sister, and the rest of my family for pushing me and helping me to become the determined and motivated student, performer, and community member that I am today. And a special thank you to my cousin Alana for being my trailblazer in education and my aspirations. Lastly, I'd like to recognize the amazing people that make up the Students of Color Affinity Group at School of the Holy Child and my advisor, Mrs. Cooper. As student leader, I plan to leave my legacy by diversifying our curriculum and continuing to support you all as students, as people of color, and as women. As I pursue my education in political science next fall, I will hold close to my heart those I have mentioned, the significance of this award, and the dream of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Thank you.
Greetings. My name is Janet Malone, and on behalf of myself and my husband, George Malone, we are pleased to present the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Youth Legacy Award for Social Justice to White Plains High School senior, Miss Tiana Thompson. This summer, say her name, Breonna Taylor. Say his name, George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, became the battle cry for social justice and change because, as Tiana says, racism continues to peek through the unsealed cracks in our society. During this pandemic, Tiana has demonstrated Reverend King's belief that the time is always right to do what is right. Tiana advocates through the White Plains Youth Court and Social Justice Program for juvenile justice rights, the reduction of school suspensions, and youth in the criminal justice system. If it is not obvious already, Tiana wants to be a lawyer. Tiana, I look forward to welcoming you into the profession. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Tiana Thompson, Social Justice Awardee. Congratulations, Tiana.
Dear African American men of Westchester, as a recipient of the 2022 Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Legacy Youth Award in the category of social justice, I wanted to thank you for your prestigious award. I was thrilled to learn of my selection for this honor, and I am deeply appreciative of your support. I'm a senior at White Plains Senior High School. I hope to become a lawyer upon hopefully graduating from Harvard Law School for attaining my law degree. The financial assistance you provided would be a great help to me in paying for my educational expenses. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s goal was to end racial discrimination and to promote racial equality. His efforts inspired my efforts through social action to be an advocate for my community. I take action and not just sit back. I have participated in an advocacy day trip to our capital where I spoke with Senator Andrea Stewart Cousins and Senator Shelley Myers on schools for providing an alternative to suspension. Currently, I volunteer at the White Plains Community Youth Court where I help deter juvenile delinquency and help promote restorative justice. That program is coordinated by Ms. Connie Jones-Harrison, and I'm extremely grateful for her nominating me for this award and for being an amazing youth court coordinator. Thank you again for your generosity and support by awarding me the 2022 Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Legacy Youth Award in the category of social justice. I hope one day I will be able to help the students achieve their goals just as you have helped me.
Hi, I'm George Latimer, Westchester County Executive, and I want to join my voice with many others to salute the African American men of Westchester, and this on their 21st annual celebration for Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. program, where you're honoring young people with youth awards programs, and doing it over the weekend that we celebrate Dr. King's life with a federal holiday is a very appropriate time to do that. We hope to be able to do this in person in the years to come, but even when we do it virtually, it doesn't take away from the accomplishments of our honorees, these young people who are showing at a very early age an ability to contribute to their community and to show what Dr. King's legacy is like in person in their everyday activities. So again, congratulations. May this be a wonderful celebration of a young accomplishment with many years of accomplishment to come.
Hi, I'm the Reverend Dr. Hugh Marriott, proud member of the African American Men of Westchester, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Miss Abrea Porter. Abrea is an enthusiastic, energetic, and enthusiastic student. She works well with groups and is respected by all of her peers. Abrea has been recognized for her exceptional work in helping her community fight for equal rights. Her work as an active participant in a volunteer program helping students to get access and exposure to literacy as she visits various locations in and around Westchester County, including Yonkers Public Libraries. All of these experiences has helped her to become more aware of all the issues that are targeting and affecting all of our communities. As she engages in storytelling with children across different age groups, Abrea began to grasp the power of how stories can help hold us and connect us together, especially even if people are strangers. Although Abrea is very shy and quiet about her work of service, she now understands how her impact went beyond the walls of the library. Abrea's work empowers and exposes others to the joys of the mind and the spirit while planting seeds through books. She takes great pride in building a sense of unity and collaboration by sharing stories with others who would find common ideas and themes that would help them see how alike we all are as human beings. Abrea's favorite hobbies are drawing and crocheting. She's a strong believer in freedom and is also an advocate for equal rights, Black Lives Matters, and Asian lives. It gives me great honor and pleasure to present and to introduce to you all Miss Abrea Porter as she receives the Vision Award from the African American Men of Westchester.
I'd like to start off with thanking the chairman and the African American Men of Westchester for ultimately deciding to choose me for this award. I'd also like to thank Ms. Monegro and Mr. Del Monte for even considering me for this award. I'm thankful for my mom for helping me to step out of my comfort zone to be the independent young woman I am today. Words cannot describe how genuinely happy and proud I am to win an award under Martin Luther King Jr.'s name. Martin Luther King had left a legacy of equal rights, ending segregation, and he is also the ultimate reason why I have a proper education today. Martin Luther King Jr. has always said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter." It was one of my dreams to continue the Martin Luther King Jr. legacy and become a role model for the younger generations to come. Thank you again.
Hello, my name is Anthony Epps, and I'm a longtime member of the African American Men of Westchester. I am also the Senior Vice President of Business Development for Benchmark Title Insurance Company. Renika Turner can be best described as an easygoing person with a wonderful and a sweet soul. She enjoys going to the library and exploring new books and loves being around nature. Her favorite hobbies are to draw and to write about nature. Renika is also absolutely obsessed with analyzing movies, television shows, and listening to music. Renika was born in Kingston, Jamaica, where she quickly learned that education is the most valuable resource that she can possess. Despite a shared lack of resources, children who went to school had a massive advantage over those who did not. This lit a spark in Renika to get her to look at education and so that she can get the most out of it that will propel her and kept her focused on accomplishing her goals and her dreams. Through her volunteer work, she encourages children in her community to do the same. Volunteerism has become the conduit through which Renika gained so much confidence and fulfillment in her mission to serve others. She believes that this is what Dr. Martin Luther King wanted all of us to realize. Helping our fellow human beings will also allow us to be helped. By caring for others, we treat ourselves kindly. For her future plans, Renika plans to go to college and obtain a bachelor's degree in nursing. This will allow her to continue helping others and to be of service to the community. Thank you.
Firstly, I want to thank the chairman and the African American Men of Westchester for this amazing opportunity, and my mother and sister for being such a big inspiration in my life. And I also want to thank Mr. Del Monte, our school's principal, and Ms. Monegro for nominating me for this award. It's an honor to be nominated under Martin Luther King's name because of the impact he made on this world. I also hope to make an impact on this world like him, so that our youth can grow up in a safe and healthy environment. Unfortunately, Martin Luther King isn't here with us anymore, but his legacy still goes on, in me, in you, in all of us. Once again, I want to thank you for this amazing opportunity and for showing me that no matter how young you are, you can still make an impact on this world, no matter how small that impact is. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Ben Boykin, Westchester County Legislator representing District 5, and I'm delighted to participate in the 21st Annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Legacy Youth Awards. I would like to congratulate all of this year's Legacy Youth Award winners and join with the African American Men of Westchester to recognize young people of action who followed Dr. King's personal commitment to community change. As Dr. King showed us with his words and his actions, there's no greater calling than to dedicate our efforts toward improving the lives of others in our communities. When we direct young people towards this calling and then reward that effort with recognition and praise, we're setting them on the path to a meaningful life. I commend the African American men of Westchester for renewing this investment in our youth for the past 21 years. It is a very worthwhile endeavor. And I commend all of the Youth Award winners for understanding the importance of looking beyond themselves to improve the lives of others. As Dr. King said himself, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? Again, congratulations and best of luck on your future endeavors.
Good afternoon. I am Tanya Roberts Tolbert, and on behalf of my husband, the Honorable Brucey Tolbert, and myself, I am pleased to present a scholarship to Phoenix Harper. Phoenix Harper is a 17-year-old senior at Alexander Hamilton High School. She is the president of the Greenberg White Plains Youth Division of the NAACP, as well as secretary on the student council at her high school. Phoenix has spoken at several protests and events in honor of Black Lives Matter and other social injustices. She also participates in the Peers as Leader PALS program at her school, in which she serves as a mentor for underclassmen, and the equity team at her school, in which she serves as a student leader. Phoenix is a three-sport athlete who has been excelling in basketball, volleyball, and track on the varsity level since her freshman year. She has worked with the Westchester Building Bridges Initiative to improve the relationship between minority youth and local law enforcement. Phoenix has also managed to maintain a grade point average of 90 and above, and remains as a member of the Alexander Hamilton National Honor Society. Phoenix also participates in peer tutoring through her school district. Phoenix is an outstanding student, athlete, role model, and leader. Congratulations and good luck, Phoenix.
I'm humbled and honored to receive such a prestigious award from the African American Men of Westchester. I want to thank all of my counselors, mentors, and family members who have motivated me to become what I am today. And I want to motivate future leaders to foresee significant change by working with others, because that's what true leadership is. Thank you.
Cindy Jackson is a member of the Union Baptist Church and a senior at Woodlands High School. She is a high honor roll student, National Honor Society member, IB diploma candidate, Good for Girls Incorporated mentee, and performs in school and community theater. At Woodlands, her leadership positions include Student Council President, Class of 2022, and CODA Club President, which she founded with support of her school's social workers and administrators. For those who don't know, a co-occurring disorder, or CODA, is a person with mental health disorders like anxiety, depression, bipolar, and post-traumatic stress. Additionally, they are prone to substance abuse like alcohol, prescription medications, and other addicting substances. Within Sydney's community, she has witnessed how easily her peers who are struggling with mental health could potentially succumb to substance abuse. In order to raise awareness, Sydney co-hosted her first CODA walk on campus, which attracted many state, county, and local politicians, in addition to many community leaders. Sydney is a remarkable young adult who is committed to this cause and believes that, in her words, it is time to bring co-occurring disorders out of the shadows and into the light.
You don't have to struggle in silence. Pop artist Demi Lovato. Over 10.2 million people have a co-occurring disorder, yet most have never heard of it. When a person has a co-occurring disorder, it means they have both a mental health disorder or disorders like anxiety, depression, bipolar, and/or post-traumatic stress disorder, and misuses substances like alcohol, prescription medications, and other illicit products. I would like to take the time to thank Ms. Marcasano for sharing her personal family journey and starting this impactful organization, the Harris Project, to change outcomes from prevention to treatment. I would also like to thank the Greenberg Central School District for supporting all my efforts to help the community and student body. To the social workers at my school, Mr. Gaines and Ms. Roth, thank you for your encouragement and assistance. I can remember attending the annual breakfast every year with my dad at the Doubletree as a little girl and being inspired by previous recipients to do work in my community. I am thankful for this honor and would like to express my gratitude to the African American Men of Westchester for selecting me as the winner of the 2022 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Legacy Building Bridges Award. I would like to thank everyone who nominated me as well. Raising awareness for CODA is key so that we can inform more and more people about this combination of mental illness and substance misuse. We need to make sure that those who need help are able to get help. They should not have to struggle in silence. It is time to bring co-occurring disorders out of the shadows and into the light. Thank you.
Hi, this is New York State Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart Cousins. I'd like to thank the African American Men of Westchester for inviting me to speak at the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Legacy Youth Award ceremony. First and foremost, I congratulate this year's recipients of the award: Jordan Williams, Julian Salvador, Tiana Thompson, Zeta Polanco, Abria Porta, Renika Turner, Phoenix Harper, Sidney Jackson, my grandson Kyle Cousins, Michael Navarro, Carl Green Jr., and Jose Iriaco. They are all high school seniors from various backgrounds who try to live up to Dr. King's example through voice and deed. They excel at their studies and are young leaders in their Westchester County communities. Their accomplishments include mentoring children, feeding the homeless, participating in the Black Lives Matter movement, and working to stop hate crimes against Asian Americans, among others. They may be young, but they are an inspiration to us all. I also appreciate how much the African American Men of Westchester have served as role models to these award recipients and all the youth in our county. Much in the way that Dr. King lit the candle of change and urged future generations to keep it burning, this organization has shown leadership by dedicating themselves to helping address issues related to education, youth empowerment, domestic violence awareness, and environmental justice. They understand that we owe it to ourselves and those that follow to break down more barriers and allow more voices to be heard. And these awards are just one way that they are ensuring that Dr. King's message will be passed down to the next generation. Once again, thank you to the African American Men of Westchester, and congratulations to all of this year's esteemed award recipients.
Hi, I'm Jane Solnick. I'm Director of Regional and Community Affairs for Con Edison, stationed right here in Westchester County. I'm delighted to be with everyone today, and I want to first and foremost thank the African American Men of Westchester for all they do for our community. I personally have been involved with them for over a decade, and Con Edison has supported their programs for many, many years. We have seen their programs grow tremendously, and what they are giving back to the community is just wonderful. This is an amazing group of men. I have to thank you and applaud you for everything that you do for us. Thank you. But I'm delighted specifically to be here today to give the Spirit of Love Award to Kyle Cousins. What a remarkable young man. He's the epitome of what we want to see in our students today and our leaders in the future. Kyle is both academically, athletically, and community involved. He is basically everywhere doing everything. He has taken advanced courses. He's already taking college courses. He's going to college in the fall, accepted by a number of schools, just in the position of trying to make a choice of where he best wants to be. But we all look forward to what he's going to do in the future. He has led our communities, a quiet, reserved man, but he is there for us. And I look forward to seeing, specifically, I look forward to seeing what he does in the future. That is why we are honored today to honor Kyle Cousins with the Spirit of Love Award. Kyle, best of luck to you in the future, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
My name is Kyle Cousins. I am a graduating senior at Peace Corps High School. I love sports, playing video games, and being an entrepreneur and volunteering through community service. I'm excited, honored, and humbled to receive the African American Men of Westchester Spirit of Love Scholarship. I would love to thank the great men of the African American Men of Westchester for this honor, and Mr. McDonald, CEO of the Black Diamonds, for nominating me for this award. The scholarship will help me fulfill my dreams of attending college. As Martin Luther King stated, "Be the peace you wish to see in the world." I would like to thank my parents, my dad, Kevin Cousins, my mom, Keisha Palmer Cousins, my brother, Kendall Cousins, and my grandma, my granddad, Leroy Palmer, and my grandma, Obie Palmer, who recently passed away. Their legacies live through me, all that I do. They encouraged me to live my life with passion and purpose, told me to treat others as I would like to be treated, and serve and give back to the community in which I live. I would like to thank the City of Peekskill School Superintendent Dr. Mauricio, the Peekskill School District Principal Dr. Ferris, the PHS teachers, staff, guidance counselors, administrators, who work very hard every single day to provide a quality public school education for the youth. I've overcome many obstacles that people say I couldn't overcome, including overcoming ADHD. I am an influencer, leader, and community service advocate. Last year, I was an all-league fullback for Peace Corps High School varsity football team. I've been granted early acceptance to Wingate University, Winston-Salem University, Nova Southeastern University, Iona College, and Dominican College. I will use exercise science to focus on my passions for fitness, health, and wellness for others, especially the disabled and those with special needs. I've been a member of Mercy College's Science Technology Entry Program for 7 years and completed 3 college courses at Mercy College. I am currently taking 3 college courses through Cerny, Albany, and Westchester Community College. I work 15 hours a week as a merchandise associate for HomeSense. I was also the freshman class treasurer, volunteer, and I've used to volunteer in food drives through the Black Culture Club. I also used to tutor for today's students, tomorrow's teachers, and I attend Elton Brand Leadership Academy after school. 100 hours of community service in the past 4 years that I have done also include annual MLK Day of Service projects as a team member of Jack and Jill of America Incorporated Mid-Hudson Valley chapter, where I serve as Sergeant at Arms. On MLK Day, we donated hundreds of pounds of food for Fred's Food Pantry. Through these organizations, I've learned valuable skills like managing money, public speaking, and becoming a community advocate. Thank you again to the African American Men of Westchester for the Spirit of Love Scholarship, for your continued support of the youth, Mr. McDonald for nominating me for this award. Congratulations to all of today's award honorees, and thank you.
On behalf of the principals at Jackson Lewis, we are extremely pleased to present the Spirit of Love Award to Michael Navarro. Michael is a senior at New Rochelle High School. He is involved in a number of activities, including working while attending school, and also, too, he is involved in a variety of sports activities, including lacrosse, and involved in a lot of extracurricular activities as well. And we are pleased that he is looking forward to studying business and finance, and we understand that he is family-oriented as well. We wish him the best of luck, and congratulations on this award, Michael. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Michael Navarro. I just want to take this time to thank everyone who has gotten me to this very moment today. First off, I wanted to thank my parents for always showing me how to have a strong work ethic and becoming a better person each and every day. Secondly, I wanted to thank my mentor Charles for always showing me valuable lessons and becoming the young man I am today. Next, I want to thank Andrea for the wonderful conversations that we have all over the phone and for hosting this amazing, wonderful event today. Lastly, I want to thank the African American Men of Westchester for this amazing opportunity that has been presented to me. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ken Jenkins, Westchester County Deputy County Executive. I'm here to congratulate the African American Men of Westchester on their 21st annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Legacy Youth Awards. The African American Men of Westchester have participated and led this particular effort for 21 years, continuing the outstanding legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I want to say congratulations today to all of the honorees, our young folks throughout Westchester County who during this second year of COVID have done tremendous work in utilizing their energy and effort in supporting their various communities through the activities that you're being recognized for today. Congratulations on all of your outstanding hard work. We're going to continue to look for you to be our lights and beacons as we get through and continue on through this COVID crisis, but more importantly, for your leadership in the honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Congratulations.
Hello, my name is Reverend Petra Toms, and I'm proud to introduce the recipient of the Peace and Nonviolence Award. Ms. Ziada Polanco is a senior at White Plains High School, and she is the epitome of an overachiever. From dramatic arts, creating original music, acting, and political activism, her interests are across a broad spectrum. She is a social activist for justice here in Westchester, connecting with youth throughout the county. Her political involvement is statewide in galvanizing youth for the benefit of those in need. We truly are pleased and excited to have Ziada receive this award for peace and nonviolence, following in the activist tradition of Martin Luther King Jr.
Just want to say that I'm really humbled and honored to be accepting this award today and join the esteemed group of peers that have been nominated for peace and nonviolence in the prior years. I want to thank you to the African American Men of Westchester, the Martin Luther King Jr. Legacy Award Committee, and Chairman Nichols for selecting me today. I also want to salute all of this year's contestants who have helped shape the youth-driven society we live in today. I also want to thank Mr. Frank Williams for nominating me. He supported me since I was a scrawny 7-year-old joining the White Plains Youth Bureau as a dancer. And come 8th grade, Frank's inducting me to Keepers of the Dream, where I would later find my voice on pressing issues on current events, social justice. I really was able to find my voice, and I genuinely don't know where I'd be without him today. I also want to thank you to my parents, my brother, and my 2 little doggies for providing the bedrock for my life and supporting me all the way through. They've given me fire to my passion, ensuring that all youth voices can be heard today. And in the past 2 years, I've been able to give the opportunity to perform in the Black Lives Matter rally in 2020, reviving Keepers of the Dream so that kids from all over Westchester can come together on Zoom to talk about current events, and also helping organize a social justice and arts performance in White Plains and provide a sense of community during these tumultuous times. And honestly, I'm just really honored to be here today, and thank you again for having me.
At the United Way of Westchester and Putnam, we are dedicated to helping the 40% of our neighbors living in poverty or paycheck to paycheck, whether they're in crisis today or to help them be more self-sufficient tomorrow. One of the most efficient and effective ways to help people thrive is to invest in education. That's why we have been honored for many years to partner with the African American Men of Westchester on their scholarship program in honor of the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And that's why personally I'm honored to present the William Carter Perseverance Award to Carl Green Jr. Carl, or CJ as he's known, is a Mount Vernon resident and a senior at Fordham Prep. At a very young age, his parents instilled in him a commitment to helping others, to giving back to his community. In fact, it's one of his earliest memories is collecting food for his local school. CJ has been a volunteer with Feeding Westchester. He's also been the editor of his local Jack and Jill chapter, and he's had an article published in the national Jack and Jill publication. He's also the vice president and secretary of the local chapter of his Kappa League. And he's attended 2 school missions, one to Baltimore and one to Tennessee, where he's helped Habitat for Humanity build homes for low-income families. CJ, all of us at the United Way are honored to support you on your journey, and we wish you the best of luck. Congratulations on this award.
Good afternoon. My name is Carl Green Jr. I'm honored to be standing here today and for being recognized as a beacon of light within my community. I am blessed to be the 2022 recipient of the William L. Carter Award for Perseverance, Community Service, Leadership, and Character. I'd like to thank my parents, my late father, Carlo Green, and my mother, Shalene Chin Green, for instituting and demonstrating the value of the gift of giving. I'd like to thank my village, my family, my friends, my grandparents, my sisters, Shelby, Haven, and Graceland, my Jack and Jill family, Kappa League, Blue Nile, church, school, and everyone who has touched my life, for being a constant reminder that I stand on the shoulders of strong men and women, rich in heritage, culture, who have helped me become the person I am today. The Bible states in Luke 12:48 that whom is given, much is required. We all need to continue to use our God-given talents, wealth, and time to benefit others. Finally, I'd like to thank all who took the time to nominate me for this award. And of course, the African American Men of Westchester. I hope one day to be part of this illustrious organization, to dedicate my time to address social and civic issues in our community so that we can continue to make a difference. I'm truly honored and will continue to uphold the name of William L. Carter.
Josh Ariaku is this year's recipient of the William L. Carter Perseverance Award. He's an emerging leader and a senior at Mamaroneck High School. He plans to major in computer science and pursue a career in technology, and looking at that as a positive impact. He's overcome some insurmountable circumstances, and he's developed a program in coaching through Catalyst Coding Program, a group that he has founded, and is able to mentor and instruct other students through technology in solving real-world problems. Welcome, Josh, this year's William L. Carter Perseverance Award recipient.
When I was 10 years old, my family and I were living in one small room. You see, my family was affected by the crippling effects of conflict and corruption. Consequently, I missed out on a lot. I missed out on nearly half my formal education, and I couldn't maintain friendships that long. When I came to the US, I was disheveled. But I've come a long way from that one room. Traditional systems told me I had no business being in the 9th grade. But I was not going to be anything less than my peers. I had to put in the extra effort just to catch up to the ordinary. I had to own my own rescue, to take responsibility for my potential and my future. I tell you this story not out of pity, but for the knowledge that sometimes life gives you gifts wrapped in sandpaper. That gift to me was the gospel of lifting others as I climb. For what good is it to reign at the top if all it grants you is a bird's eye view of the people you left behind? I stand here on the shoulders of many. My ancestors and forefathers, their blood still runs in my veins. My mom, who's my rock and ever-present help, Miss Silverman, my English teacher, who saw me before I saw me. Miss Quackenbush, my guidance counselor, who stands by me on the journey of finding who I am. There are others to mention, but not enough time. I'd like to thank the AAMW for picking me amongst the many amazing youth that could have easily stood in my place right now. I'd like to encourage my fellow awardees to keep being the change. Keep being the change you see in this world. I accept this award not as a badge of honor, but as a responsibility to continue to lift others as I climb. Thank you.
Good afternoon. It brings us extreme joy to be able to present the 2022 Social Action Award to Jordan Williams. But let me tell you guys something. We're not overjoyed just because she writes and recites her own original poetry on Black history and the cultural Black experience. We're not overjoyed because she's the president of the Whitney M. Young Club at Valhalla Middle High School, promoting cultural diversity while tackling race-related issues in the school. We're not overjoyed because she successfully brought a consultant into the school to help teachers address racial issues. We're not even overjoyed because she set up formal meetings with the principal and the superintendent of curriculum to advocate for equitable representation in the lessons of students in grades K through 12 in the Valhalla School District. And you know what, guys? We're not even overjoyed that she's a member of the National Honor Society, the World Language Honor Society, which admittedly I had to look up to see what that was, but it sounded really prestigious to me. And we're not overjoyed because she's a member of the varsity soccer team and the varsity basketball team. The Bible reminds us in Proverbs 22:6 that when we train up a child in the way that they should go, when they get old, they will not depart from it. Now, if you've been coming to this event over the years, you'll know that I've been bringing Jordan up on stage with me when I make these presentations. I've been doing that ever since she was about 6 or 7 years old. I do that in part to show her that one day you will be accepting this award. You are now the role model that you once emulated. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the reason why we are overjoyed to present Jordan Williams the 2022 Social Action Award.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the Campbell family, I just want to congratulate Jordan Williams on being one of the winners of the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Youth Legacy Award. We are very proud of all that you're doing to enhance the lives of others and to further your education. Congratulations to you and all of the winners. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jordan Williams, and I'm a senior at Valhalla High School. First, I would like to thank God for blessing me with this award. Thank you to the African American Men of Westchester for selecting me for this scholarship opportunity, and a special thanks to Mr. Campbell for nominating me. He has always kept my best interest in mind, and I am very appreciative of that. I would also like to thank my family, my mom, my dad, and my sister Paige. I thank them for always supporting me and always lifting me up. My dad helps foster conversations about social justice and advocacy, which helps me to understand the issues that I am fighting for. My mom always makes sure that I approach situations with rationality and not with clouded judgment. And my sister has always been my #1 supporter. Without my family, I wouldn't be the person you see standing before you today. I've been committed to fighting for social change ever since a young age. I started to realize how much different categories like race, ethnicity, religion, and more divide us all. Kids would pick on other kids because of the color of their skin, cultural practices, and religious identity. They would go after anything they deemed as different. I always tried to defend the kids that were getting attacked for these things. I wanted to fight against injustice like this on a bigger scale, and I decided I was going to help people through the passion and my willingness to advocate. I have participated in a multitude of speaking events, where I read original poetry that sheds light on racial injustice. I learned how to call for social change in the form of carefully crafted lines. Writing led to reciting, and reciting led to performing. I have now performed my poetry at luncheons, scholarship dinners, protests, competitions, and more. I intend to continue to use my voice and writing ability to strengthen my advocacy for social change. As I continue on in my future aspirations, I plan on continuing my advocacy by majoring in political science with an interest in law. Again, I want to thank the African American Men of Westchester and say that the scholarship granted to me today will go to good use, as it will help to put me on the path to success for my collegiate career. Thank you.
Wow, what an amazing group of young people. Congratulations to all of them, and congratulations to their families, teachers, and all of those who have made an impact in their lives. Their honor today is yours too. You all should be very, very proud. We hope to see you all next year, hopefully in person. In the meantime, be kind and please stay safe. Thank you.
Happy Dr. King Day, everyone. I want to congratulate the African American Men of Westchester for 21 years of awarding Dr. King's Legacy Youth Awards and for giving me this opportunity to reflect on the legacy of Dr. King. Dr. King promised us that we would one day get to the promised land. But after the past year, the promised land seems further and further away. We watched as a pandemic robbed us of family and friends and jobs. We watched as a system of policing and justice too often seemed unjust. We watched as our sacred right to vote was trampled on, the big lie that there was widespread voter fraud, an armed insurrection to shut an election down, a steady stream of legislation in state houses designed to rig elections. It's hard not to feel depressed, but I would ask you to let go of your depression and hear Dr. King. The day before he died, Dr. King said that he would choose to live in his own time more than any other time in history. This man who confronted the worst that humanity had to offer. This man whose own country let him down. This prophet. He looked across the torn and frayed landscape of America and said, "I know somehow that only when it is dark enough can you see the stars. And none of us is brave enough, smart enough, or prophetic enough to be Dr. King. But let's be like Dr. King. We may not have Dr. King's brilliance, but we can continue his work. And the most basic work we can all do is vote. And that means get yourself registered. That means give yourself the time and resources to cast your vote. And that means vote for people and policies that increase access to the ballot. And that means join the chorus demanding that the United States Congress pass meaningful voting rights legislation. America has marched a long road from enslaved Africans building the White House to an African American elected to the White House. And that didn't happen by accident. We earned that through blood, sweat, and tears. And now it falls to this generation to ensure we do not turn back. Now it falls to the United States to march further and further forward. So in the words of Dr. King, and on Dr. King's day, let us be happy. Let us not worry about anything. And let us not fear anyone. And let's use our voices and our vote to say that we will get to the promised land together.